The member for Fredericton, Grand Lake, and leader of his party.
Mr. Speaker, we're all elected in this House to create laws and to change laws, to make policies and to amend policies, to launch new programs and to eliminate inefficient and ineffective programs. So I have just a general question for the Premier. Does the Premier agree that if laws and policies are unenforceable or impractical, that our role as legislators should be to change those laws to better reflect the realities on the ground?
The Honourable the Premier.
Well, thank you for the question. And Mr. Speaker, I guess, in the context of it, one would say, well, it sounds like that should be the case, but I think you have to look at every law in its own right. You have to look at every case, and you have to understand the details of each one. I mean, because in some ways, you kind of think this is a loaded question, and the next question is coming. So I'll wait for the next question, Mr. Speaker, but my view on answering any question is let's hear the question first. Thank you.
The member for Fredericton, Grand Lake, and leader of his party.
That's why, Mr. Speaker, I don't give the Premier my questions beforehand. But, Mr. Speaker, many sections of the Official Languages Act denies the human resource issues that this province faces and does not provide a practical approach as it relates to frontline service. In fact, the province itself violates this act on a regular basis in its delivery of frontline service. So would the Premier agree that changes must be made to the wording of the act to enable frontline service to adhere to the laws provided by the province?
The Honourable the Premier.
Thank you for the question, Mr. Speaker. I guess the point of looking at any laws that we have on the books, and the point of this particular discussion about does this particular ability to fulfill a language requirement, is it not practical in relation to our ability to actually do it? But I think we have an obligation in the province, which we've said. We are a bilingual province, and we do have obligations under Official Languages Act to provide a service in both languages. So I don't think we're debating that here in the House, Mr. Speaker. I think any time that I've debated anything in that regard, it's been about the fairness of it all. It's been about our inability of our education system to keep up with what we want to be as a province. And I've challenged that. I said that many times the French immersion program, after 50 years, is a failure, Mr. Speaker. It is not delivering the result that was intended. So are we going to just pretend it otherwise? I don't think so. I think we have to understand what can really work that's worked for other provinces and other countries, because I think there's an opportunity. But in this case, we need to evaluate, because coming forward, we have a lot of challenges with people and getting the services provided. So we have to look at everything head on. And for that, I understand what the leaders...
Le député d'Edmundston. Member